But does the prophet say that there's going to be any kind of nuclear devices going off in America? Yes. Let me just read from part of it. This is what the angel showed to Michael Boldea. The small lights begin to flicker on and off in some of the states. I recognize California, Illinois, Michigan, Arizona, Washington State, Florida, New York as some of the states that lit up. Now, when I interviewed him on the radio, he said that these were not the big, massive Hiroshima, Nagasaki type nuclear weapons going off. He said they answered to the description of a suitcase nuclear bomb. And they were all going off at pretty much the same time. In other words, a simultaneous attack in several cities. Now, what have other prophets said about this? Well, Kurt Weldon, that is a former congressman, not a prophet. However, he stumbled across a plot, and they couldn't get anybody to do anything about it. So he wrote a book on it called Countdown to Terror, and he said in the plot it was revealed to him that there's going to be 10 cities attacked. Los Angeles, New York City, Las Vegas, Miami, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Houston, Boston, Philadelphia, and Valdez, Alaska. Then Michael Boldea, as I just read, said California, New York, Illinois, Arizona, Washington State, Florida, Michigan. Then, last month, we had Doug Metzger come in, and he saw 12 cities. Los Angeles, New York City, Las Vegas, Washington, D.C., Chicago, San Francisco, Houston, Seattle, Orlando, Dallas, Atlanta, and Denver. Then another prophet I interviewed on this radio program once said Los Angeles, New York, Miami, Washington, D.C., Chicago, and Phoenix. Now, if you noticed, there were many of the cities there that were confirmed by another. Now, Deuteronomy says, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let a thing be established. So I think we can say at this point that God has spoken and seriously warned us that, yes, there's going to be explosions. We can't guarantee nuclear, but we can certainly guarantee explosions in several different cities. And the plan is that it'll be simultaneous all across America. Now, how does that relate? Well, Iran has said if there's any kind of attack on them, and now with this Boston bombing, there are some reports that these guys were linked up to Iran. And, of course, Iran now is really scared, thinking, oh, well, maybe that's going to be all they need to send American troops over here to invade us next. So they're really scared. But what do the prophets say? Because it's just like one of the things that I think I can bring to the table in helping people to understand Bible prophecy, as opposed to someone that says, well, we only accept only those things that are in the Bible, making themselves sound as if that makes them more credible, when actually I think it makes them less credible, because Amos 3:7 says, surely the Lord God would do nothing except he revealeth his secret to his servants, the prophets. That says that he is not going to do anything unless he tells his prophets first. And that includes current events, okay? So anybody that thinks that God is not talking, well, yeah, I think you should be really concerned. Because the angel that spoke to Dimitri Duduman said, those people that I will protect hear my voice. He didn't say exactly those words, but pretty much that's what he said. So if you don't believe God talks, then that means you're probably not hearing him. That means that you're in the wrong percentage group. So anyway, back to the point of what we're talking about. All right, so I think something with Bible prophecy, but I don't know for certain until it's confirmed in the mouth of prophets. Same thing here. We may think that something's going to happen in North Korea, but if there's not a prophet saying it, then we got to toss it out the window. And nobody I know of is saying anything about North Korea. What about Iran? Well, nothing. There's no one saying anything about a war with Iran. Now, Michael Boldea, the angel, did tell him that there's a new war coming, but said nothing about Iran. So Lindsey Williams says no to Iran. The prophets are not saying Iran. What the prophets are warning us about is a series of explosions all across our nation. They're also telling us about a giant earthquake that's just going to devastate large parts of America. And the dollar falling. I mean, as you know, I've been saying for a while now, there's about to be a global reset of currencies. Each currency is going to be revalued based upon the asset to debt ratio. And, for example, Maurice Sklar saw the dollar lost 20% of its value in February of 2008, and he said it's going to lose another 30% of its value, and eventually it will die. Then Lindsey Williams was told by the ruling elite that the dollar would be dead by the end of 2012. I got him on here, and he said, yep, it's dead. He said they just don't know it's dead yet. It's kind of like, look, you know, you shot the animal, and it's flopping around, and it's dead, but it just doesn't know it's dead yet. Okay, that's kind of where the dollar is right now. So there's many things that the prophets are saying. We are, as the dream that I read in the broadcast the other day said, judgment is here, brothers and sisters. Judgment is here. It's no longer coming. Judgment is here. You can count on it. Here very soon. I don't know if that's, you look at your watch to see that. I don't know if you look at your calendar. I don't know whether it's years, months, days, hours. I don't know. But the dream said judgment is here, and it said it many times. Judgment is here. Judgment is here. Judgment is here. It's no longer coming. Judgment has arrived. So you can count on it. It's not too far before something really bad hits. It's no longer coming. Judgment has arrived. So you can count on it. It's not too far before something really bad hits. Now, I don't know for certain what it is. My best guess would probably be the financial global reset. How would you feel if all of a sudden the dollar was, you woke up one morning and they said, well, we've reset the value of the dollar and we've devalued it 30%. Of course, most Americans would say, no big deal. Yeah, well, within a couple of weeks, they'd realize what a big deal it is because all of a sudden, everything they buy is 30% higher except their paycheck. And so consequently, the panic is going to ensue. People are going to be, it's going to be worse than the Great Depression, in my opinion. I think it's not going to be just America this time. It's going to be a global financial reset. Everything's going to seem like it's out of control. That's what the other dream said. Out of control. But at the end of all of this, out of control, people will begin to realize that the prophets have been warning them accurately that, yes, you are in the last days. So there you go.
Representatives challenged the DHS ammo buys, saying the agencies are using 1,000 more rounds per person than the Army. That's right. Republican Representative Jason Capet, a Republican representative, said Thursday that the Department of Homeland Security is using roughly 1,000 rounds of ammunition more per person than the United States Army, as he and other lawmakers sharply questioned DHS, that's Department of Homeland Security, officials on their massive bullet buys. It is entirely inexplicable why the Department of Homeland Security needs so much ammunition, he said. Well, Stan, the other day I was going through Walmart and I just happened to go by the gun aisle. And as I was going over there was two girls talking and they both worked at Walmart. One was just a little bit older than the other. And so I walked up to the one that was putting ammunition on the aisle. And I said, excuse me, could I ask you a question? And she says, sure. I said, well, is it true that there's really an ammunition shortage? As I was watching her attempting to stock this ammunition. Well, she turned around and told me, she says, really, we have been out of everything. It seems as fast as it comes in, if it comes in, it goes out. And right now, today, as I'm putting these 22 long rifle bullets on the shelf, people are coming by and taking them faster than I can put them on the shelf. Well, the other girl then decided to pipe into the conversation. She says, do you know anything about it? And I said, well, I explained that I did talk radio and that I'd been following it for some time and that indeed the American government under Department of Homeland Security was buying up all the ammunition. And she said, really? She said, wow, I just thought that was all a bunch of hype so people could sell more ammunition. Totally clueless. And the other one said, I was just trying